This is phase 1 of a work in progress, containing only the narration. Hello everyone, Blackfoot Ferret here. 1 year ago, I released Quartz Ate Pink Diamond, one of the most powerful theories I've ever made. It links several ideas together to make my case about how Steven Universe got his amazing powers. It was a controversial theory, so I'm making this follow-up video to clarify things and correct mistakes, as well as show how well the core theory has held up over the past year. The real theory, revealed in the twist at the end, was Pink Diamond gifted her powers to Rose Quartz to personally found the crystal gems and save the Earth, shattering herself in the process. But that didn't fit well in a thumbnail, so I shortened it to Rose Quartz Ate Pink Diamond, for reasons I'll cover at the end of this video. So let's start with the fun part. Here are all the mistakes I made in the first video. Many people pointed out that I used a screenshot from Cartoon Universe at a time their channel title had been hacked. I did not do this on purpose. I was a latecomer to Steven Universe, and in a hurry to binge watch the show and splice my theories together before the rumored January 30th reveal about Pink Diamond. When the Steven bomb was leaked almost a month early, I panicked and cut some corners. I didn't know the established SU theory channels that well yet, and grabbed several interesting screenshots, including Top 10 Unsolved Theories in Steven Universe, which was the part of the screen I was looking at the time. I wasn't even aware the name change had been a hostile hack until others told me about it. I want to apologize to Cartoon Universe for this mistake, and have become a Patreon sponsor of theirs as a way to make amends. My next error in the first video was citing the wrong season numbers for Steven Universe episodes. This is because I binge-watched the show on iTunes, and for reasons known only to the ghost of Steve Jobs, Apple has an entirely different season breakdown. For example, Apple says Gym Heist / The Zoo is the first episode of Season 6. Not only does Season 6 not yet exist, Gym Heist is actually in Season 4. This is weird, but actually good, because it makes the Little Butler cartoon line up perfectly with the show timeline. Little Butler is a reference to Steven Universe itself, and the Richingtons, who Amethyst says moved next door in Season 3, would appear right when Lapis and Peridot move into the barn. Amethyst also says the dog, representing Lion, only appeared halfway through Season 1, which is indeed when Lion showed up. This is important because Greg says the show had a cat named Money that only appeared in the pilot episode, representing a hidden member of the Crystal Gem family that we were never aware of. The pilot of Steven Universe tells the story of Cookie Cat, a refugee of an interstellar war, a story that bears a very strong resemblance to Pink Diamond. And a major plot point is that the Cookie Cats have been discontinued and are being replaced by Lion Lickers. Steven's powers appear for the very first time when he bites into a Cookie Cat. And by the end of the episode, he's eaten the last remaining Cookie Cats in the world, thinking, perhaps correctly, that Cookie Cat is the source of his gem power. Even though the cat named Money is gone from the show, the Little Butler family still has way too much money on their hands. And the episode's Tiger Millionaire and Tiger Philanthropist shows Steven dressing up as a feline in a pink shirt, wielding money as a weapon, eventually giving the money away in the second episode. I believe these episodes foreshadow the relationship between Steven and Pink Diamond, but only time will tell. My next mistake in the first video was occasionally calling both Jasper and Ruby by the pronoun he. This was a complete gaffe on my part. I know that all gems are female, except for human gem hybrids like Steven. Now let's address one of my side theories that might be in jeopardy, the origin and identity of Lion. My theory was that Rose created Lion in the same way that Pearl created her holopearls, as a gemless energy projection of herself that was then severed from the whole to become its own, mere-flipped entity. Pearl couldn't reform herself in Steven the Sword Fighter because the holopearl she created still existed, and counted as a twisted, ghostly form of herself. This anti-Pearl, unwillingly compelled to act as a training dummy, destroys Pearl's favorite tree and eventually attacks Steven in an effort to recover Pearl's gem, so that it might become the real version of Pearl instead. It's only after Steven defeats the Holo Pearl that our Pearl instantly reforms after an unheard of delay of 2 weeks. Pearl reforms in the hours between the return and jailbreak, just like all the other defeated crystal gems. It wouldn't have taken her 2 weeks to reform unless something was blocking her. My theory was that Lion is an inverted projection of Rose, created and programmed by Rose to assist Steven while she was gone. Lion knows things that only Rose would know, like the location of the secret training base that Pearl thought only she and Rose knew. Lion's mane contains treasures and secrets that Rose couldn't trust to anyone else. And somehow, even though Pearl says Rose never had a lion, Lion was able to learn of Steven's unpredictable birth and return Nora's incorrect tape to Pink Diamond's ship. Ever since Steven raised Lars from the dead with the power of pinkness, giving him warp zone hair just like Lion's mane, many people said that Lion must be a regular Earth lion that Rose brought back in the same way. While I admit my theory is shakier than before, and might need revision based on future reveals, I'm not ready to throw in the towel just yet. Lion and Lars are similar, but also different. Lion keeps eating those gem hybrid crystal scorpions, while Lars no longer seems to need to eat at all. Lion has amazing powers to warp space and blast things, but the only power we currently know Lars of the Stars has is the ability to evade gem sensors. Perhaps both of them received a large intelligence boost after being touched by pinkness, but it might also be that Lars simply got a confidence boost he desperately needed to unlock his true potential, and Lion was always sentient from the beginning. If I need to update Lion's theory in the future, I will. But now it's time to clarify points about the core theory. So let's begin with the beginning. Why did I start the video with Jasper? My goal was to show that Steven's mom had an impossible power level for a gem of her type. Bismuth said Rose Quartz was completely normal when she was grown, and Big Jasper is the highest naturally occurring power level of any known quartz. The only way Rose could stand a chance against Jasper, let alone the diamonds, was if Steven's mom received a power boost in some unusual way. Peridot doesn't call Jasper the ultimate Jasper, she calls her the ultimate quartz. And Jasper's, amethyst, and rose gems are all members of the quartz family, all grown on Earth. While each family is different, they are also similar. And the zoo shows that, other than color, normal jaspers and amethysts are hard to tell apart. We haven't had the chance to see a normal rose gem yet, but from the thousands of the diamonds defeated and bubbled in the zoo, their average power level can't be all that different from the other quartzes. The rubies consider Big Jasper a war hero, even among gems. And from her huge, flawless exit hole to tales of fighting the moment she bursts from the ground, it's easy to see why. Compounding this is Jasper's non-standard nose gem, which actually marks her as an off-color mutant that won the lottery and got larger rather than smaller, dwarfing all the other tiny twisted exit holes around hers. Big Jasper is the quartz equivalent of Wolverine. There's no way any regular quartz could dare to match her, let alone surpass her power. But Steven's mom did surpass Jasper, because while every other member of her gem cut failed and got bubbled in the zoo, Rose Quartz faced off against what looks like a fusion of all three diamonds in the inverted pyramid wall mural, and somehow won, forcing all of them to flee the Earth. Forget Jasper, Rose Quartz had a diamond power level. And there's only one gem she could have gotten it from, Pink Diamond. Likely the very diamond Rose is shown wielding in the mural. The importance of power level is shown in Garnet's universe, where Garnet's companion, who is definitely not Slippy Toad, constantly tracks Garnet's power level as she trains. Here's another example of the power level argument from Undertale. Sans the Skeleton is several orders of magnitude stronger than Asgore, the king of all monsters. If Sans was a monster, he should be the king instead. But Sans never becomes the ruler of the underground, even if we kill every other main character, because Sans isn't a monster. The only explanation for his impossibly high power level is that he has a human soul. Sans also has darkness inside him, which monsters shouldn't be capable of. There is something truly special about Steven's mom that allows her to do things that should be impossible. For example, she's the only known gem in the entire universe who can heal. Eyeball the Ruby twice claims that Rose is the only known healer in the universe. Once by deduction and bubbled, and flat out on the witness stand in the trial. Healing is not innate to Rose Quartz gems, only Steven's mom can do it. Garnet has shown us, by gifting her future vision to Steven 3 times with a kiss, that one gem can voluntarily grant their power to another for a limited time, before that power fades and returns to its owner. But what would happen if the gifting gem shattered before the gift wore off, leaving that power with nowhere to go except stay where the gem it was gifted to? Now consider that healing is a unique power in the gem universe. Only a unique gem could possess a unique power. And there are only 4 one-of-a-kind gems we know of, the 4 diamonds. Both the power of Rose's healing ability and its rarity point to only one possible source, Pink Diamond, the very diamond Rose supposedly shattered. But Rose didn't shatter Pink. The trial shows Rose used her famous sword on the day she stabbed Pink. Bismuth designed that blade so it could never harm the central gem, even by accident. Blue Diamond may believe his sword shattered Pink, but we know this is impossible. And there's plenty of evidence that Pink was gifting Rose Quartz her power even before she was shattered. Let's go back to the answer for a moment, where Rose, a completely ordinary quartz soldier, and Pearl attacked Blue Diamond's entire court all by themselves. This attack seems like madness, a suicide mission. Yet Rose and Pearl dive in and not only survive, but take down gems left and right like they're having a picnic. Then, immediately after Garnet forms, Rose stops Pearl from attacking this new fusion of 2 enemies and calls a sudden retreat, warping herself and Pearl away with powers we've never seen any quartz gems use before. Rose was flushed deeply pink during this battle and had a Super Saiyan power level. But when Garnet meets up with Rose and Pearl later, Rose is back to her usual white and pink color scheme. Rose was carrying Pink Diamond's power in the arena, but it had faded by the time she met up with Garnet. Now fast forward to Gemcation, where a flashback shows Garnet and other crystal gems preparing to fight a titanic twisted gem that could only be Pink Diamond. Garnet is here, so this must be after the answer, but Pink Diamond is still alive, which means that if Rose had Pink's power during the answer, she could only have received it as a gift. The trial shows us that collusion between Rose Quartz and Pink Diamond had been happening for some time. Rose was clearly identified on the day she stabbed Pink Diamond, and was a known rebel of hundreds of years. But when Rose approached Pink's palanquin, nobody in Pink's entire court tried to stop her, and Pink herself voluntarily left the safety of her vehicle to meet with Rose. Every gem in Pink's court should have attacked Rose, but none of them did, because they all knew Rose was also a member of Pink's court. Pink's Pearl had been sent away, and although several Sapphires were present, none of them saw what was about to happen. Because at the very moment Rose struck, someone used the power to change the future, to change fate into something the Sapphires could have never seen beforehand. This is the very power that blinded our Sapphire on the day of the answer. Sapphire saw her entire life before her as one unbroken line, knew she was destined to be poofed that day, but never tried to prevent it or move to safety. Sapphire didn't believe the future could be changed. Until, suddenly, it was. Steven did the impossible in Future Boy Zoltron when he got Mr. Frowny to smile, even though every possible outcome seen with Garnet's borrowed future vision told him this couldn't happen. Steven changed the future that day to help Mr. Frowny, the same way Rose changed the future in the answer to create Garnet. The same way Pink Diamond changed the future on that fateful day to give Rose a chance to strike her. Because the power to change the future is every bit as rare and powerful as healing. In the trial, Blue Zircon dropped a bombshell that one of the diamonds themselves must be behind Pink's shattering. And in Jungle Moon, we see a small, young, off-color Pink Diamond shatter her own reflection in the mirror. It's very interesting to watch how Yellow Diamond and Blue Diamond talk about Pink. Blue was very close to Pink and was devastated by the news of her loss. Even after thousands of years, Blue still mourns Pink's death like it happened yesterday. Blue can't heal and move on because she still doesn't know what happened or why. And in the trial, she's willing to do anything to uncover this vital information she has to know. Yellow tries not to get emotional, putting on a stoic face and pretending she doesn't care. Yellow advises Blue to do the same, the double meaning in her song, "What's the use of feeling, Blue?" But even Yellow can't hide that she misses Pink also, breaking down for a moment at the end of the song as the tables turn, and Blue tries to comfort Yellow instead. Unlike Blue, Yellow does know something about Pink's shattering. Yellow seems surprised when Steven actually confesses to the crime, which neither he nor Rose actually did. And in sharp contrast to Blue, Yellow has no interest in finding the truth, doing everything she can to expedite the trial and get Steven quickly shattered and silenced. Blue Diamond is horrified at Blue Zircon's declaration that a diamond shattered Pink, but Yellow seems calm, resolved, and utterly unsurprised. Maybe even a touch regretful as she slowly stands up from her throne and poofs Blue Zircon with a quick finger jab. Yellow knows Blue Zircon's only crime is doing her assigned job too well, and uncovering a truth Yellow wanted to keep hidden. Yellow can't bring herself to be mad at this gem. But when Green Zircon makes a quip, Yellow lashes out and fries her own prosecution lawyer in a rage for not ending the trial fast enough. An outburst that leads to Blue yelling at Yellow to stop. Yellow is doing everything she can to prevent Blue from learning the very truth about Pink that Blue needs to know in order to heal. And yet, Yellow still cares for Blue, and seems to be doing these terrible things not to hurt her, but to prevent Blue from finding a truth that would hurt her even more. Blue has been almost insane with grief since Pink's shattering. What would Blue do if she ever learned that her closest diamond, Pink, was actually conspiring against the Great Diamond Authority and funding Rose's rebellion with her own power? If Blue was sad before, such painful knowledge might drive her to madness, possibly even shattering herself too. Something that Yellow, who does love Blue, could never allow to happen. White Diamond was always the raw force of intellect in the Authority. Perhaps White was the first one to see through Pink's deception in sponsoring Rose's rebellion. White may have convinced her own closest diamond, Yellow, that Pink needed to be kicked out of the Great Diamond Authority. And neither dared tell Blue, fearing that Blue would defect and join Pink if she was forced to pick sides. Pink was the one who shattered herself, but White's decisions may have driven Pink to take this extreme action. I want to revisit one of my favorite details from the show, a clue that was brilliantly hidden in plain sight for years: the 6 gems on the temple gem door. Before A Story for Stephen, all we ever got to see was the bottom section of this door, and saw it so frequently that even this amazing detail eventually became commonplace and no longer drew our attention. But the first view of the top section, and its huge shiny circular gem surrounded by a 5-sided pentagon, happens in a quick camera angle flash when Greg first sees the gem temple at a time before Stephen's house was built. This brief flicker is the first time we ever see the 6th gem, or what I like to call the 1 gem. Over the rest of the series, we're slowly given better and better looks at the entire door, until we finally get our first completely unobstructed shot of the whole door in Know Your Fusion. Whenever Steven Universe or any show releases a detail like this in a long, slow burn, you can bet it's important. And the 1 gem is very important, because it represents the founder of the Crystal Gems, a character who, just like Money/Cookie Cat, we never knew existed. The gem door follows a pattern. Each gem on it has a different number of sides. Amethyst gem has 6 sides, Rose is 5, Ruby is 4, Sapphire is 3, Pearl's 2-tone gem counts as 2, and the giant gem in the top is a circle that has 1 side. The 1 gem's status as a gem is reinforced because each gem has the same number of connecting lines as sides. And as amazing and improbable as it might seem, that one link connecting the 1 gem to the upper pentagram matches this iconography. The 1 gem is indeed a crystal gem, the very first crystal gem, and she's immensely more powerful than all the others. This gem represents Pink Diamond, and her power resides within Rose's 5-sided gem. Lion 4, alternate ending, goes further into this symbolism when Lion is compelled to cough up the key to Pink Diamond's ship. This key has a miniature version of the 1 gem on it, and opens a 2nd gem door on Pink Diamond's ship. This new door even has its own version of the 1 gem on it, with a mixed white and pink color scheme that resembles Rose Quartz, Pink Diamond, and Cookie Cat. My favorite shot of Lion 4 is when Steven stops to look down at Nora's tape, and for a few moments his head is pictured in a halo, between the giant legs of Pink Diamond's ship. My theory was that Pink Diamond was Steven's grandmother, and this shot does suggest that Steven is a descendant of Pink Diamond, the child of a space goddess. Garnet revealed in 3 Gems and a Baby that Steven himself is a fusion. We always knew that Greg and Rose were in Steven, but the energy of Pink Diamond was always secretly a part of him as well, making him a fusion of 3 beings. Like Steven said, the answer was in him the whole time. This is why Steven keeps crying tears that he swears aren't his own when he witnesses the misery of Blue Diamond. Blue routinely shatters gems. It's unlikely that Rose, who hates shattering, would be this upset at Blue getting a taste of her own medicine. But Pink was very close to Blue, and hurting Blue this deeply was never what Pink Diamond wanted. All things considered, a year later, I'm more certain of my core theory than ever, that Pink Diamond's power and mind reside within Rose's gem, which was passed on to Steven, which explains why Steven and Rose were able to do so many impossible things. But with all of that being said, I do have one major update to the theory. Pink Diamond does indeed have the powers of other, lesser gems inside her, but I no longer believe that Pink was a vampire that stole them herself. The diamonds don't innately possess the same powers as gems of their court. They have their own unique abilities. This is why Blue Diamond had to summon Tiny Sapphire to read the future, because Sapphire could do something that Giant Blue, the Diamond of Magic, couldn't do herself. But Pink Diamond could float, just like a sapphire, and view the future, just like a sapphire. Rose Quartz used both of these abilities in the answer while holding Pink's gifted power. Powers that could not have originally belonged to Pink. The energy of a sapphire, as well as the energy of many other gems, were part of Pink's being by the time of the Gem War, which explains how Steven has such an amazing array of unrelated powers. The question is, how did Pink herself get these powers? Originally, I thought Pink must have been a vampire and willfully stole these powers by eating other gems. But now I know this isn't the case. The truth is, somehow, even more horrible. In Jungle Moon, Stevonnie relived an early memory of Pink Diamond's, that time when Pink was Stevonnie's size, with Yellow Diamond looming over her like a titan. The Earth's moon base also had a small chair in it, better fitting for Pink's original size. The Round Table and other Steven theorists were correct. Pink was an off-color diamond. And when Pink acts like a spoiled child, Yellow spits the name Pink at her like an insult, which leads the wounded Pink to punch her own reflection in the mirror. Tiny Pink was not originally formed with a standard 4-sided diamond gem that white, yellow, and blue all share. She had a 5-sided diamond. But somewhere between Jungle Moon and the flashback in Gemcation, Pink underwent a massive change. Not only did Pink turn into a twisted titan the same size as the other diamonds, but her actual belly gem itself changed into a traditional 4-sided diamond. Gems don't grow like humans do. Pink should have been the same size her entire life. Something must have happened to Pink that massively boosted her form size and power level. And even if Pink did receive gifted power from other gems, none of that would actually change the shape of her own diamond. An off-color diamond that was transformed into a normal diamond. This is my theory. Off-color Pink was an embarrassment to the Authority, and especially to White Diamond, who valued purity and conformity over all else. In Jungle Moon, Yellow views the original Pink as useless, nothing more than an annoying distraction, and having to take care of her is an insult added to injury. But the Diamonds couldn't get rid of Pink. She was part of them, and too important to lose. So White Diamond tried to fix the problem by doing something else. She tried to fix Pink Diamond, to force her to become a normal diamond. Do you remember the episode Keeping It Together, where Garnet and Steven revisit the Prime Kindergarten? They're attacked by the broken shards of crystal gems that were forced to fuse together at the gem level by the Authority, as a hellish, twisted parody of their own love of fusion. I thought that nothing could ever top cat fingers in terms of nightmare fuel, but nothing prepared me for seeing the hand cluster, where 4 screaming gems try to form their own bodies, but are sucked back into their merged Frankenstein gem and forced to become one tortured, twisted being. This is what happens when you force gems who don't want to be together to fuse on the gem level. And this is how White Diamond tried to fix Pink. The Diamonds poofed Pink, took her gem to the lab, and operated on it, poofing other lesser gems and physically merging the core of their beings with Pink's 5-sided gem, mangling her and them until Pink's gem looked like a regular diamond, and her form, now much crueler looking, was the size of a normal diamond titan. Pink never asked for these powers. They were forced onto her unwillingly by her diamond sisters, who did not accept her the way she was. And while Pink may have been stronger on the battlefield afterwards, she must have felt horror and pain every moment of her life from then on. Both her own pain and the pain of all the gems who had everything taken from them and were forced to become part of her forever. The Great Diamond Authority treats everyone horribly, even their own. And this is why Rose's rebellion happened, and why Pink was willing to give so much in a desperate attempt to teach the Authority a lesson. Before I continue, because there's no way I can go back after going this far, I need to make something absolutely clear, so that my words and possibly the message of the show itself are not misunderstood. The Great Diamond Authority is not evil. Yes, they've done terrible things. Destroyed planets, wiped out organic life without a second thought, forced gems to forgo their own desires and act like nothing more than soulless cogs in a massive machine that destroys lives, and shattered countless numbers of their own kind for the crime of being born differently. But we must try to understand the diamonds. And each and every time they did these terrible things, it was because they thought it was for the greater good. That with everything they knew, and everything they were able to feel, these draconian decisions seemed, to the diamonds, to be the best choices for Gemkind to continue and thrive. And this is the true horror of the world of Steven Universe. Because after Pink's shattering, the Great Diamond Authority itself is broken. Each of the 4 diamonds is part of a greater whole, and represent a different aspect of that being. That's why each diamond ship is shaped like a body part, only achieving their full power when they combine Voltron style into the ultimate power. White Diamond, who seems to be the oldest and most powerful diamond, is the raw force of intellect in the Authority. You can think of her as the architect from the Matrix, an utterly logical being as removed from the rest of the world as possible. She values straight lines and uncompromising scientific calculation above all else. White Diamond is the head of the Authority. On the flip side, you have Pink Diamond, the youngest and, at least in the eyes of the others, the least powerful diamond. She has the lowest spot in the Era 1 hierarchy, but has a very important position. Pink Diamond isn't just the legs, but the heart of the Authority. If you take a good look at the design of the zoo, Pink is the force of compassion and healing, and in Matrix terms she would be the Oracle. A being every bit as powerful as the Architect, who spends her time among the people instead of locked away in an ivory tower, learning to understand others and feel what they feel. The theme of the mind clashing with the heart echoes through Steven Universe. This is why Pearl and Amethyst argue so much. They also represent the mind and heart, and are as different as two beings could possibly be. But when they do manage to put aside their differences and fuse, they form Opal, a fusion much more powerful than Garnet. And this is why the Great Diamond Authority is broken. Once Pink left and was shattered, the Authority became, both figuratively and literally, a heartless organization. When Lapis left the Earth and returned to the heavens, she sent a warning back to Steven that in Era 2, things were much worse on Homeworld than before. With only 3 diamonds, White Diamond's power was unchecked, and everything was done her way. Want a fast, efficient way to stop a world full of rebelling gems? Fire off a corruption song and turn all of them into monsters. Want to turn worthless, captured rebels into a weapon you could use? Shatter them all and crush their pieces into a planet-destroying cluster. Gem life is superior to organic life, so organic life should be destroyed to make way for gems. Gems were made to serve the Authority, and the Authority is pure and perfect. If any gems dare to question the Authority, they must be defective and must be destroyed. It's all very logical and efficient, and utterly, completely heartless. But White Diamond can't see that, because the Era 2 Authority literally does not have a heart. On a grand level, Steven Universe is less about war and more of an argument between family members. The liberal crystal gems, founded by Pink Diamond, want to teach the Authority to learn and adapt, and change their draconian ways so that everyone is welcome on Homeworld and can be themselves. While the ultra-conservative Era 2 Authority, consisting of white, yellow, and blue, demands conformity and want to keep things the way they are. And yet, for being so smart, there still is so much the White Diamond doesn't know. The Authority thinks fusion is an abomination that disturbs the natural order of which gems are stronger. But the crystal gems show time and again that allowing anyone to fuse with whoever they like creates powerful bonds that magnify the strength of their individuals many-fold, a power that can easily win battles. If the Authority used fusion more often, their forces would be much more effective. The Authority thinks purity and perfection are the only things of value, and any gem that isn't perfect is worthless. Yet even mutated and unusual gems have their places in the world. The Authority turns a blind eye to Big Jasper's off-color status because they find her strength useful. And Padparacha's Sapphire's inverted gift to see the past might be the only way to learn important knowledge that would otherwise be lost to time. The Authority believes compassion is a sign of weakness, and fear is far more important for maintaining order than love. Yet Rose's rebellion was built upon freedom and love. This power of gems fighting for what they wanted and believed in rather than what they were ordered to do allowed a much smaller force to drive off the legions of Homeworld. Imagine how strong Homeworld would be if all its gems believed in it too. The Authority believes organic life is weak and worthless dust, deserving only to be harvested to make gems. But the Jungle Moon organic creatures were a serious threat, and Lars of the Stars showed that a single human infused with gem energy can be a force to be reckoned with, and vex even the greatest of Homeworld's fleets. Homeworld would not need sun incinerators and planet-destroying clusters unless they were fighting an enemy in space that was truly terrifying. Imagine what Homeworld could accomplish if they had more human gem hybrids like Lars fighting with them instead of against them. An army of Nephilim that could vex the enemy instead. The crystal gems do not hate Homeworld. Lapis and Pearl both long to return to space, and the place of wonder they both came from. But they can't return, because the Era 2 Authority has made life there unlivable, and Homeworld is no longer the place they remember. The crystal gems aren't fighting to destroy Homeworld, they're fighting to save it. And Homeworld could be so much stronger, and life on it so much more livable, if the Authority would only listen to Rose and Pink and be willing to change. And change is the only answer, because there's no getting rid of the Great Diamond Authority. Charming little Aquamarine took down the giant fusion Alexandrite with a single zap, defeating every single crystal gem except Steven with one shot. If Homeworld ever does learn that Steven is back on Earth and attacks in full force, you can expect them to bring an army of Aquamarines, and Topazes, and every gem type you've ever heard of. Steven may have evaded the diamonds so far, but he's never had to actually face one in a fight. And even if the legend isn't true that only a diamond can shatter a diamond, it's very unlikely that Steven's friends could get close to one should Homeworld pull all the stops and finally attack in full force. Steven will need every friend he can find just to stay alive in the trials to come. And even if it were possible to shatter the other 3 diamonds, that could prove to be a terrible mistake. We still don't know exactly how the gem seed injectors work, but it could be that only a diamond can make the seeds that grow into other gems. If you destroyed the diamonds, you could doom all of gemkind to die out. Then the enemy in space that not even the gems could defeat would advance as Homeworld weakened, until humanity would be alone to face the terror on their own, a fight that Earth would lose. White, yellow, and blue may be difficult to live with, but the gems depend on the diamonds, and the diamonds are here to stay. But while removing the Great Diamond Authority isn't an option, it might still be possible to heal it. That's why I believe the endgame for Steven Universe, or at least a major chapter in its story, is for Steven to heal Pink Diamond, and restore her to her rightful place as the heart of the Authority. Ever since she transferred her mind and power into Rose's gem, Pink Diamond has been doing one thing: learning. Learning from Rose and her adventures, then from Steven and his. Every success, failure, lesson, and moral Steven has ever experienced, no matter how large or small, has been recorded by Pink as she travels with him. Through this, Pink Diamond has learned what it's like to be a regular gem, and a human, in a way that no other diamond has experienced before. Learning to understand, and most importantly, learning to love. Pink did not know what love was, until she came to Earth and met Rose. Pink saw a power in this young gem that she had never experienced before and couldn't understand. As the song says, Pink Diamond wanted to learn how to love like her. And the best way to do this was to actually be part of Rose for a while. This also granted Rose, an amazing tactician, the power to save the Earth. Because Pink Diamond wasn't just trying to save one planet, she was trying to save the Authority itself by proving to them that things could be different, and many beliefs they took for granted were wrong, and the Earth was the best place to make a stand. If Steven restores Pink Diamond to life, it would not only end the gem war and save the Earth, the lessons learned there would echo through the entire Homeworld Empire. Horrors like the corruption song and shattering would be things of the past. Once Pink rejoined her sisters, it would start Era 3, an age of compassion and understanding that had never before been seen. And the terrors of space would know their time was up as these 4 living creatures once again combined into the ultimate power. Stronger than ever before now that it was armed with new wisdom and allies it couldn't even imagine before. But to do all this, Steven must return Pink Diamond's energy to her gem. Which means Steven has to unfuse and never again reform the way he was. Which means Steven has to poof. Is there a way to save Steven? Maybe. There's still a lot we don't know about human gem hybrids or of the gemless energy-based children some gems are able to create. And in order for Steven to even survive long enough to fulfill his destiny, a lot has to happen. Steven must locate Pink Diamond's shattered gem and unearth secrets that have been buried for thousands of years. Steven must survive long enough to grow stronger than even his own mother, who would have healed Pink if she could, but never had the power. And all the while, Steven must protect himself and his friends from the ever-increasing threat of Homeworld. And the 3 diamonds that want revenge on him for the death of their sister, never realizing that if they destroy Steven, they destroy Pink Diamond too. And at the end of it all, Steven must make the final decision of what to do himself. I don't think it's exaggerating at all to say that the story of Steven Universe could be considered the greatest story ever told. Art is at its best when powered by conviction. The artist sees a way the world could be different, and creates a work so that the audience can also see what they see. What is the goal? The same reason a theorist might, theoretically, create an epic theory video that deliberately makes a bad first impression and only reveals the truth at the end. To change people's minds. Thank you all for listening to the whole story and keeping an open mind. Good night, everyone.